Ain't nobody, they can't fire me. I make too much money to get fired. So they can't fire me. First of all, they fire me. They got to pay me for 7 years, and I'm going to quit way before then. But if they want to fire me, I would love for them to do that.
All right, here's what's really going down. It's getting super messy at ESPN. Charles Barkley's out here acting like he owns the building, making wild power plays, while Shannon Sharpe, man, he's looking like he's barely holding it together right in front of everyone. At first, people brushed it off like some random shuffle. Chuck rising, Shannon chilling. Just timing, right? Nope. Leaked audio and secret convos are blowing the lid off. And now it's looking like this whole thing was planned all along.
I want you to win, but I don't want you to win more than me. Now I see if you win more than me, now I got to question your sexuality. Yeah. I got to question, how black are you? Because, bro, I'm like, come on, man. I mean,
this whole thing, straight up chaos. We're talking jealousy, double crosses, and a bold power move that blew up in somebody's face. Word on the street is Shannon Sharpe might have tried to block Charles Barkley's ESPN deal behind closed doors, right when his own career started cracking, after that lawsuit shook everything up, and his off-camera slip-ups started piling. But here's where it gets crazy. Barkley's been wildin' with his unscripted rants, even taking shots at ESPN itself. And instead of checking him, they're rewarding him like he's the MVP or something. No suspension, no pushback, nothing. Meanwhile, Shannon's getting edged out like he's yesterday's news. So what's the real play here? Was Shannon trying to get Chuck canned? Is this all just pro-jealousy? Or is something way darker bubbling under the surface? Insiders close to ESPN say Shannon's been real salty watching Barkley take up more spotlight. And let's be real, Chuck's raw, unfiltered, and folks eat it up like popcorn.
But that's because you fools on other networks, which we gonna become fools next year. We be working on that network. But Oklahoma City and the Cavs been balling for 6 months.
Even after TNT lost the NBA rights, Barkley's still a straight-up ratings machine. Meanwhile, Shannon's been feeling the pressure heavy. Ever since that lawsuit from a young woman hit the headlines, things haven't been the same. Word is, once he heard Barkley might be snatching a big ESPN promotion, Shannon started panicking and tried to shut the whole thing down from the shadows. Yep, straight sabotage, and it gets wilder. Sources say Shannon even tried tipping off ESPN execs about Barkley's messy past, thinking that'd make them back away. But guess what? That play flopped. Chuck's still on the rise, while Shannon's sinking like he's stuck in quicksand. But here comes the plot twist. While Shannon was busy throwing dirt, Barkley's drama, it ain't ancient history. It's fresh, yet ESPN's acting like they don't care at all. They know the baggage and still ain't blinking. Now rewind to 2022. Barkley locked in a monster 10-year, $210 million deal with TNT. Huge money. But right after cashing that check, he went on record saying he wasn't sticking around the whole decade. He told everyone he's got maybe 2 years left. Tops. Said he wants balance and no network's gonna run him into the ground. And Chuck didn't stop there. He threw major shade at ESPN too. He said, "I ain't gonna be working like no dog like Stephen A. Smith." That wasn't no harmless joke. That was a direct shot. Barkley drew the line, loud and clear. He's not about that nonstop ESPN hustle. So naturally, you'd think ESPN would pump the brakes, right? Wrong. They rolled out the red carpet like he's royalty, handed him a prime NBA spot, and gave him full creative control. No leash, no filter. Barkley gets to be Barkley, raw and uncut. And the craziest part? He's not even pretending to love ESPN's style. Chuck's straight up said he's worried they'll ruin the whole inside the NBA vibe. And he's still getting everything he wants.
Oh, he said the Lakers, first of all, the Lakers have had a great 2 weeks. He said the Lakers saved the NBA season. That's because them fools on the other network, which we're going to be working with next year, that's all they talk about.
Too many ads, too much structure, not enough realness. Barkley's worried they're going to strip away everything that made Inside the NBA a straight-up classic. And it's not just the fans sweating it. Media insiders, critics, even Barkley himself are calling it out loud. ESPN might seriously mess this up, and everybody knows their style. Polished, clean-cut, and corporate to the core. That ain't Barkley's lane. Not even close. TNT let him go wild, crack jokes, speak raw, and that's why the show hit different. But ESPN, they like their talent tight-lipped and TV-ready. Barkley even trashed a TNT spinoff pilot, saying it was the stupidest ish I've ever seen. That kind of blunt talk, it would have gotten most people quietly booted from a major network deal. But not Chuck. Somehow ESPN's still treating him like their golden ticket. Full access, full freedom, no filter. He's out here clowning TV projects on record, and they're still protecting him like he's untouchable. Barkley's playing by his own rules, and ESPN's just letting it happen.
And I've been going back and forth with TNT for the last 2 months, whether I'm going to work 2 years or 3 years. But if I really wanted to, I could stay for 7 years, which there's no chance of that happening. Zero.
Zero consequences. None. Barkley straight up called out ESPN for hyping up Anthony Edwards like he's the next big thing before the dude even proved himself under real playoff pressure. And what happened? No suspension, no warning, just business as usual. Now imagine being in Shannon Sharpe's spot for a sec. He was this close to locking down a $100 million deal until that lawsuit hit, the IG Live meltdown popped off, and those quiet whispers about drama inside ESPN started swirling heavy. And while Shannon's world was flipping upside down, Barkley strolls in, fresh off roasting ESPN's entire playbook. And somehow, he gets promoted, protected, and praised like he's the network's king. No wonder Shannon's allegedly feeling some kind of way. The favoritism ain't subtle. It's loud and in your face. And here's where it turns straight up shady. Word is, once Barkley found out Shannon was trying to block his ESPN move, Chuck snapped back on air with a savage line. Said, "I'm too expensive, and I can't be fired." Now that's a power play.
I'm not taking no job, and I know how, number one, the most important thing is how much I'm going to work. That's been my biggest gripe, to be honest with you. Like, well, how much am I going to work? I mean, the notion that I'm going to work more as I get older, that's just not going to happen.
That wasn't just confidence that day. That was a full-blown flex. Barkley knows exactly what he's worth. And even more, he knows ESPN needs him badly right now. That's what's really shaking things up behind the curtain. While Shannon's out here trying to hold it all together, Barkley's moving like he's 3 steps ahead, playing chess, while Shannon's stuck scrambling. Instead of cleaning up his image, Shannon's allegedly gone into full defense mode, trying to drag Chuck into some behind-the-scenes beef, but it's not coming off strategic. It's looking desperate. And Barkley? Oh, he didn't just brush it off. Sources say once he found out Shannon was throwing shade behind closed doors, he made it crystal clear. He's not with the sneak moves. Barkley ain't about that low-key drama, but when he's heated, he speaks loud and with his chest. While Chuck's out here locking down major deals and moving like a king, Shannon's situation, it's unraveling. Fast. People are already calling this a masterclass in self-sabotage. And now comes the storm cloud that's been looming over everything, the lawsuit. Gabriela Zinga accused Shannon of SA and threats, claiming she was barely legal when it all allegedly began. It's serious. Real serious, and it's hovering over every move he makes. We don't have all the facts, but one thing's for sure. That lawsuit hit hard. And just when it felt like things couldn't get any messier, they did. Weeks before the lawsuit even broke, Shannon went live on IG and straight up forgot to log off. What went down on that live? Let's just say it was not a good look. Some real questionable behavior had social media in full side-eye mode. One commenter said, Shannon Sharpe ruined his own career and has no one to blame but himself. And another, they caught the vibe instantly. Sounds like Shannon's heated because Barkley got that raise. And let's be real, it's giving straight-up jealousy. The internet ain't holding back either. Folks are saying it plain, Shannon's salty, and Chuck's just winning. Whether you love him or not, Barkley's a legend. He's funny, sharp, and always keeps it 100. No filter, no fluff. And here's the wild twist. Barkley ain't showing up to ESPN solo. Nope, he's bringing the entire Inside the NBA squad with him. That means Shaq, Kenny, Ernie, the whole crew's reportedly packing up and making the jump. Even the TNT production team is said to be sliding over. Same crew, same vibe, same raw magic, just now with an ESPN label on it. While Shannon's out here scrambling to stay in the mix, Barkley's been quietly building a full-blown takeover. Think about it. This ain't just a new hire. This is ESPN snatching up an entire franchise. This ain't a promotion. It's a replacement. And insiders are buzzing hard, saying Barkley's upcoming show might just become the centerpiece of ESPN's next NBA era.
And like I said, even though the name changes, the engine is still the same. And to that new network we coming to, we're not coming to F around. And since it's the last show, I'm going to say it. We're not coming to F around. We kicking ass, we taking names, and we taking over.
And that means people like Shannon might be getting shoved even further into the shadows. Now add this. Rumors are flying that Chuck could soon be calling shots on new talent. Yeah, Barkley might get say-so on who's in and who's out. That's real power. All the influence Shannon used to have is sliding straight into Chuck's hands. And here's where it gets even wilder. There's a theory blowing up online. What if ESPN wants this beef? Think about it. Controversy gets clicks. Drama keeps people glued to their screens. And with both Barkley and Shannon trending nonstop, ESPN might be doing what media giants do best, letting it all explode while they count their money in the background. Meanwhile, Shannon's credibility taking hit after hit, and to make it worse, he's out here moving petty. Word is, he's been big mad about not getting a raise to match Barkley's monster deal. And ever since that lawsuit dropped, insiders say ESPN's been slowly phasing him out. And the internet? They're not pulling punches. One brutal comment said, "Come on, Shaw. Chuck ain't out here chasing barely legal girls. He deserves his shine. Don't hate. You fumbled your own bag." Brr. But honestly, a lot of folks are seeing the same pattern. And speaking of patterns, here comes the plot twist. Shannon's been quietly throwing shade at Shaquille O'Neal too. Yep, Shaq. Turns out both Shaq and Barkley are gearing up to take over the very ESPN lane Shannon once thought was his. TNT may have lost the NBA rights, but Shaq and Chuck landed soft, straight at ESPN's main table. And guess who's not sitting there? If you've been watching over the years, you already know Shannon and Shaq. That tension's been simmering for a while. On-air jabs, shady interviews, sneaky little Instagram shots. The tension between Shannon and Shaq has been bubbling low-key for years. But now, it's looking like Shaq's been playing the long game the whole time. Check this. Just a few weeks ago, an audio clip leaked, and it allegedly caught Shaq talking to a known media fixer. Yeah, one of those behind-the-scenes operators paid to dig up dirt on celebs. In the clip, a voice that sounds a whole lot like Shaq drops this line: "Find me something real on Shannon. I know it's there. I want the stuff that sticks." The fixer, cool as ice, replies, "Let me work on that one right quick. That's a tough one." Then boom, not long after the lawsuit hits, Shannon's name starts crashing through the headlines. Coincidence? Or was this a setup, a calculated takedown? And let's not forget, Shannon was already catching heat for that off-camera IG Live moment that had folks side-eyeing him hard. The timing of it all? Way too perfect. Now it's looking like Shannon didn't just get caught slipping, he got hit from every angle, by the game, by the press, and maybe even by Shaq himself. Meanwhile, ESPN's smiling for the cameras, but behind the scenes? Word is Shannon Sharpe is already halfway out the door. Insiders say execs have officially greenlit Charles Barkley's brand new NBA studio show. And guess what? Chuck's allegedly getting final say on the new talent lineup. Translation? Shannon might be the next one cut from the roster? Let's keep it real. Why would ESPN hold on to someone drowning in bad press when they've got Barkley, a walking, talking ratings machine? This is the same network that handed Pat McAfee a megaphone and turned Stephen A. Smith into wallpaper on every screen. They want big, bold personalities. And Barkley's now the crown jewel. Insiders say his name is everywhere inside ESPN. His face is on pitch decks. He's being sold as the everyman voice of the NBA. Raw, unfiltered, funny, real, and still stacking ad dollars like a boss. Execs love it. He speaks his mind, moves the culture, and sells the brand, all in one shot. And Shannon? He's still stuck on defense, allegedly tossing shade instead of fixing his name, and it's showing. So what's next? Barkley already said he's out in a couple years, but until then, he's surfing this ESPN wave, stacking that bag, and trust this, he ain't worried about Shannon at all. As for Shannon Sharpe, if he doesn't flip the script fast and get that lawsuit handled, he might end up watching his whole media empire crumble live and in real time. This is looking like a full-on fall from grace. But don't count him out just yet. Shannon's still got name value, a solid fan base. And if he plays it smart, he could pull off a Joe Budden-style comeback. Unexpected, loud, and all the way viral. But one thing's clear, that ESPN seat, it's looking real shaky right now. So here's the real question. Was Shannon really trying to take Barkley down behind the scenes? Or is all this just a smokescreen covering up his own collapse? Did ESPN make the right move by putting their chips on Barkley? Or are they setting themselves up for more chaos? And most important, can Shannon bounce back, or did he fumble the bag for good? If you made it this far, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, and drop your take in the comments. I want to hear it all. Until next time, we out.